you're live.
Hey, welcome everybody. Hi, Bren.
Hello.
Bren is dealing with the classic cold, sinus, allergies, the whole bit. So,
Yes. Yeah.
bless
Lovely head cold. It's been so fun.
you know what? Give me just a second. I just realized my computer is turned way loud. We were chatting earlier, which is something that we do. In fact, so I was telling Brenda before we started. Do you know somewhere in the sloth shirt today, friends? I am doing that for a reason. I'm having a morning. Now, it doesn't mean it's a bad morning, but I know you guys are going to be able to relate to this. I have lost a die. Let's all just bow our heads in a moment of silence for a layering circle die that has been misplaced. You know the parable of the woman and the gold coin? That is me. I am tearing my stamp room upside down trying to find the die. Anybody else do this?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Right.
yeah. I did. I lost a stamp. Could not find it. It was in the middle of a project. And I searched the room. I searched garbages, everything. I think somebody came in my room while I was busy. It had fallen on the floor. I think it stuck to a shoe. It went away. I had to buy a whole new one to finish the project.
Oh, so, I mean, that's just the worst. And I try to be really careful. And Brenda, actually, just about 4 or 5 days ago, I lost a brand new stamp from one of my stamp sets. Searched everywhere. I finally found it, I don't know, stuck to something. But while I was looking for the missing stamp, I found another missing die that I had lost about, since January. So I guess it's all good, right?
And we have a troll on here, guys, that I'm trying to get rid of.
I'm like, well, hey, I guess it worked out. So now I'm just waiting for my layering circle die to show up. Well, I digress, but I just had to share with you guys because I know people have experienced this before. Losing a die, Brenda, losing a stamp. Oh, it just drives you crazy. And you know, it's one of those, I just can't let it go. Even this morning or in the middle of the night, I mean, I woke up just going, well, have I looked here? Have I looked there? I even opened up every single ink pad going to I've looked everywhere. Okay, we're going to move on to our project for today. I'm really excited to teach this to you. I just have to keep my head focused on cards and not my missing die. But we are going to create a one-sheet wonder project today, and we're going to create 4 cards. Now, I shared one with you last Thursday. We're going to do it again. This one's a little bit different. The reason I wanted to kind of share these back to back is if you're looking for a unique Christmas idea, my friends, the gift of hand stamped cards is a fantastic gift. You could take the one sheet wonder from last week, the one sheet wonder I'm going to share you today, make a set of 8 cards, put them in a box, a cello bag, whatever you want to do, however you want to decorate that. Check out simplysimplestamping.com. I've got like box of ideas like crazy for gift or for greeting cards. And this would make a fantastic gift. You pick the paper, you pick the stamp set. We're just going to really be focusing on the one sheet wonder part. So I'm going to go ahead and come over to my stamp table so you guys can see the cards that we're going to create today. Real simple. We're doing Christmas. Stick around to the end of the video because I will have another set of cards for all occasion. Because obviously, if you're making these for a gift, you're not going to make Christmas, right? You're going to make all occasion cards. We are going to create the Christmas cards today. But like I said, I've got a whole nother set to share with you. So before I get started with the cards, as always, I've got a free download for you. So you're going to have pictures. You're going to have the complete supply list. You can scan the QR code or you can click on it. That way you can come back to the video if you need to get a refresher. And of course, click here to order any of the supplies that you need. Because, you know, you're going to need some cardstock and some designer series paper, right? But best of all, I have a diagram to go along with our project today because I love to make things easy for you. I've had so many emails from you guys saying how much you love the diagrams. I love creating them for you because I want your stamping to be easy. I want your crafting time to go quickly so that you can get to the fun part of the stamping part. So we're going to be using this diagram and we are going to start to create. Let's talk first. I just want to talk about the designer series paper. Now, really, guys, any designer series paper you want, you're going to need a piece that's 6 by 6. I'm going to be using the festive foils. This actually comes 12 by 12. Okay, so you're going to get the big sheet, so you can get 4 of these out of each color. But I wanted you to be able to see. Do you see all that fabulous foil going on there? And I got to tell you, this one I think could be used any time of year. Even this red, that doesn't necessarily look like a snowflake. It could just be, kind of just a fun background star if you put it with a brighter color. And then this one we thought would just be great for any kind of winter stamping project that you have. So feel free to use these beyond the holidays. We're going to be using the red today. So let's go ahead. We'll talk about our card bases. This is just about as easy as can be. 4 card bases. I'm going to use Very Vanilla. 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. So that was 2 sheets of Very Vanilla thick to create my 4 card bases. You're going to need just a little scrap here. Well, not scrap. It needs to be a 2 by 2 of Very Vanilla. We're going to use that as a sentiment. And then we're going to take our 1 sheet wonder pieces. And now we're going to take a piece of Garden Green. And it is 7 by 7. So we have a 6 by 6 and a 7 by 7. And we're going to kind of mirror our cutting here on that. I've also got a piece, a little scrap here, which when I cut this down from an 8.5 by 11, I had some leftovers. You're going to need a 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. That's it. That is it. I'm telling you. So let's have some fun. We're going to bring in the diagram, and I'm going to bring in Brenda. Are we doing okay?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Sometimes we have little audio glitches, and so I always like to be able to hear Brenda as I'm working. Welcome to live. That's how it is. All right, so I've got my 6 by 6 designer series paper, and right here it's going to tell you to cut this into 4 3 by 3 pieces. Okay, there's a 3 by 6, and now it's a 3 by 3, and we'll do that again. And I hope some of you are creating with me today. It's always so much fun to craft with friends. 4 pieces that are 3 by 3. Okay, simple. Now we get to move on to our diagram. Let's start with this first one. And we need to cut this down into 3 pieces that are 1 by 3. So just cutting them into 1-inch strips. So there's what I need for the first card there. All right. Let's go on to this second one. We're going to cut it into 4 pieces that are 1.5 by 1.5. So we can cut that. You know what? I think I can cut these at the same time, make it go a little bit faster for you guys. So 4 squares, 1.5 by 1.5. That will be for the next card. Let's take this one. This is easy enough. Cut it diagonally. So to do that, my friends, you're just going to put the points of your designer series paper in the track. Make sure you're holding on to that paper tightly as you cut, because you don't want it to shift. There's my 2 triangles. That'll be for another card. And oh, look at this one is the same as that other one, that 1.5 by 1.5. So we'll just do that one very quickly. And with this, my friends, your cutting is done. So I think you can see how quick this could be for creating some cards to give as gifts. All right, those pieces are done, and we're now going to come in with that 7 by 7 Garden Green. So we're going to read right here. We're going to cut it into 4 pieces that are 3.5 by 3.5. Because remember, this is going to be a layer. So we want to have a nice little border on these. So 3.5 by 3.5 on both, or on all of our pieces of Garden Green. And we're going to do just kind of like you saw us do, but this one is the only one that's just kind of a little bit different. And it needs to be a 3 1/4 by 2. So we're just going to remove just a little hair. All right. So that's one. And that's going to go with those 3 pieces. I like to kind of go ahead and layer them together so I know what I'm doing. Now we're going to take one and we're going to cut it into 4 pieces that are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. And so it looks like one of those is a little bit long. Okay, there are those pieces and some of my little squares. Okay. This one here, we're leaving alone. We're not going to do any cutting to it. And that's going to use another set of my squares. Last one, we're going to cut diagonal just like we did before. Remember to hold that paper tight, and that will take care of that. Guys, that was really easy, especially when you have that diagram. It helps so much to just have that right there and to look at each one. All right, our cutting is done. We're now going to start to layer some things together. So I didn't want to have to sit here and adhere everything together. So I do have some that are already done, but I'm just going to show you. We're going to adhere those two together. This one, this is the one that we cut a little bit shorter. Remember, this is the one that it was a 3.5, but we went 3.25 by 3.5. We're going to adhere those three just like that. So that one will be done. This one, it's probably pretty obvious to you. We're just going to add our squares of designer series paper to the squares of our cardstock. And last one is this one. And I do want to give you a tip on this one. All right, I'm going to give you my tip. You're going to add your adhesive, and we're going to be just layering all 4 of these onto this bigger square. I don't want to press anything down until I'm sure I have everything kind of centered up, because, you know, I want these to all be nice and centered. Well, what if one of them were over too far? So I always like to just lay them on there so I still have the ability to move them around. And, you know, I know some of you love to use your multi-purpose glue, your green lid glue. And even though I think it is a great product, sometimes when it comes to things like this, do you see how I'm just kind of squinching? That's not a word. I made that up today. Okay, there we go. When you're good and happy with it, you can go ahead and press that down. But I do like to take the time. And honestly, the other one that I recommend you do that on is this one. Lay them on gently. When you're sure everything's centered, then you can give it a press down. Okay? Awesome. Now we're going to get to decorating. We're going to have some fun. So let's start. I'll tell you what, we're going to start with this card right here. I'm going to put it up in the corner so you guys can kind of see as we go along, because I got some tips and tricks on ribbon that we're going to do, and we're going to have some fun with these cards. By the way, let me just say, these are your pieces to use whatever way you want. So feel free to get creative with how you do these cards. I'm going to put some adhesive right here in the bottom right corner, and I'm going to adhere 2 squares together. I'm going to do that same thing over here and adhere 2 squares together. That's just going to make it really easy when I add these to my card. So let's see. Just want to kind of get them about like that. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive. And honestly, guys, the trick you just saw me do, I'm going to do the same thing here. I don't want to adhere these down until I have everything set just the way I want it. Because I don't see what I'm doing? I am way too far over. So I need to pick these up. Yep. Don't press anything down until you're good. I'll move that down just a hair. Well, now I went too far the other way. I'm telling you, it's that die. I'm blaming my layering circles die for taking a hike and getting me frustrated. All right, there we go. I'm happy with it. We can go ahead and adhere that. I'm going to stamp really quick. I'm going to come in with Cherry Cobbler. And I left my stamp set over at my other stamping table, but let me show you. We're going to be using the Hope and Peace stamps. Lots of them. This is a simply sentiment set. Okay, so we have no images in this one, only sentiments. So what I liked about this is I do love to send Christmas cards with a Christian theme, but you know, sometimes I just don't have just the right image for that. And let's see, it looks like I'm going to stamp Merry Christmas here on the inside. So I'm going to grab a garden green. Remember what I said though, everybody. You can use whatever sentiment set you have. You can use whatever designer series paper you have. You feel free to get creative with that. I'm now going to show you my trick with the ribbon. And I have got the gold and vanilla ribbon. Love this stuff. And so I don't know if you guys can see it here. It's kind of a little double bow, or not a bow. It's a knot. It's a double knot. I'm just going to fold my ribbon over, just fold it in a loop. And then I'm going to tie it together. Well, I better give myself a little bit more. You know, sometimes I try to conserve on ribbons so much that I can't even grab a hold of it. But we're just going to tie those two pieces together just like that. So you can see I've got a tail here. We'll cut ourselves, whoops, cut another tail right there. And then with this end, snip, and suddenly it is two pieces. Isn't that great? And I can see I need to cut these down, get them a little more to size. We'll try that. Mini glue dots to the rescue. Love my mini glue dots. How many of you guys love to use these on your ribbons and bows? Give it a press onto that glue dot. And look how that gold dresses up that card. We've got this shimmer in our actual card, but then we add that gold and vanilla ribbon. Beautiful. Okay, card number 1. Who's with me? We're done. We're going to move on now to our Peace on Earth, Goodwill to All. So this would be the one that had the 3 on it. And what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to put some adhesive right down here. I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm just going to press that ribbon on there. I'll bring it around. And one of the reasons I kind of did it this way is because of the stamp set I was using. I didn't want it to necessarily look like a present. So we're going to start with that. Now I'm going to do that same thing again on the right and left side of it. So I'll do the left. See, I'm just pressing that on there. And it's going to add, again, just that touch of elegance to the card. And again, if you were doing this with an all occasion stamp set, this could be any ribbon, but I got to tell you, this gold and vanilla is going to look good on any card that you're doing in vanilla cardstock. You see what we did there? That's easy enough. All right, now I just realized I didn't add my square yet, but guess what? It's all about creativity. There's really no right and wrong when it comes to this, but I haven't really messed up because I can just slide it. Just going to slide it right underneath those ribbons, line that up. Now we are going to take, remember I had you needed that one little square. I'm going to come in with my Peace on Earth and my Cherry Cobbler cardstock, or Cherry Cobbler ink, not my cardstock. And there's my sentiment. Okay, I'm going to comment on this because I love it. This stamp, you notice how it's kind of, peace on earth, goodwill to all. It's kind of all over the place. Do you know what's so great about that? There's no right or wrong to whether or not you stamped it straight. Thank you, Stampin' Up. I don't always get stamps on straight. Do you guys struggle with this? I know I do. And so I loved that this one kind of purposely doesn't have to be on straight. Fabulous, right? Now for this one, I'm going to stamp the wishing you hope and peace on the inside. So I'm kind of all over the place. Let's go ahead and get our hope and peace. And we'll do that in that garden green. That right there. And now we can add this to, oh my goodness, you know what I just did? I stamped it going the wrong way. Okay, this card is going to go this way. It doesn't matter. It's all good. I'm telling you, it's the die. I'm blaming my layering circle die for everything that is going to go wrong for the next year. Okay, let's add this. Remember what I said earlier about how it's all about creativity? There's really no right or wrong with this stuff. Now, on my sentiment, we're going to add some Stampin' Dimensionals here on the back. I know you guys are laughing at me. Gwen says, this is why I have to use my Stamparatus. And I agree. I love my Stamparatus, especially for getting things on straight. But you know what, Gwen? With that particular stamp set, you're okay. You don't have to. So look at that. I just turned the card around. Either way, it's all good. All right, so there, we got another card. Done. Let's move on. Let's move on to our triangle one. This one, I've got another tip to share with you. So this is our little pieces. But what I want to share with you is how I did this. So you notice I've got this piece. And I got to tell you, when you're trying to adhere ribbon onto a triangle, it is not easy. So I'm going to share a tip with you today. So I'm going to take my ribbon. I'm just going to kind of lay it out there so I make sure I get enough that I can adhere it down on both sides. You remember that trick I just did with the double, kind of a double knot? I'm going to do that here on this and the center of this ribbon. Oh, let's see if I can hold my tongue just right and get this on here. Probably not, because I blame the die. You know, let's try this. Sometimes I find if I just make a loop, let's get it started. So see, there's my loop. Let's just tuck that inside. All right. Now I can give it a press, and I can slide the ribbon that's going to go right there. I can slide it around, but let's give that a good tight pull. And just like you saw me do before, we'll snip, and don't snip the good piece. Didn't I cut this off? Am I losing my mind? I think I am. Gosh, is anyone surprised? Anyone? No? Okay. Well, let's make sure we cut off the right ones. And why? Because we blame the die. All right, so there's that little double ribbon, and we're going to add this right here. You can do this a couple different ways, but I got to tell you, I really wanted this to lay down. So I am going to bring in, oh no, I can't find it. Where is my tear and tape? I cannot find it. That's all right. We're going to do it the other way. You can lay tear and tape right here. Guys, my desk is just beyond messy. And I told you, I tore this room apart. Oops, pulled the wrong thing. Oh no. Oh no, I really did. Let's see. I grabbed it. Okay, I'm all right. Woo! I am a hot mess, my friends. Okay, well, you know what? You know what? We do have mini glue dots. How about we do some mini glue dots? We're going to just do that. I'm going to press my bow, and I'm going to add it. That worked. Turn that down. How did I miss that? Okay, so you can kind of see what we got going here, right? As long as I can adhere that down, I think that was the key. So I can adhere these to the back, but I want you to notice it's going to come whenever I try to fold that over, it's going to go at an angle. So I'm going to press that down. See how it's hanging off? We're going to get rid of that. We don't want that to show. I'm going to do the same thing right here. Yeah, I didn't need my tear and tape. Honestly, that little mini glue dot just did the trick. So see that? Doesn't that really just kind of add something? Let me move it down a little bit. You know what I love about crafting with you guys live? Is I'm getting my Christmas cards done. Woohoo! That's why I always hope that you guys craft with me. All right, so let's put this on a card. We will start with our plain square, the one that didn't have the ribbon on it. And that's going to go right here in the corner. This one, we're going to add some Stampin' Dimensionals because it's going to kind of give it this pop. Can you see? I just think this really adds to it. We're going to press it onto that ribbon because it's going to kind of give me that extra security I need. So let's add 4 of them on the back of this. And we will remove our backings. Oh, I wish I could read and stamp at the same time. Brenda and I actually were talking earlier about how we are just not good multitaskers. But let's see. Oh, Deb says Connie's live times are fun for all. Well, I'm so glad you feel that way, especially when I'm kind of a hot mess. You guys are awesome. Let's do some more stamping on this card with Cherry Cobbler. Tidings of comfort and joy. I think you guys are seeing, and hopefully you are, that anything's going to fit right here, right? You're going to get so creative. Let's see what I stamped on the inside. I stamped "The weary world rejoices," and Connie is a weary world today, but I will rejoice because I'm stamping with my friends. So there we go. Card number 3 done. Okay, one more. And this one I had some fun on. So let me get my sample here so that you can see it. So this one I really wanted to look like a present, okay? It just worked for me. So just like you saw me do before with the mini glue dots, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to add a mini glue dot here in the middle. And I'm going to take my ribbon and put it right there. Don't worry, we're going to be hiding that. But we're going to add our ribbon to the back. You guys have seen me do this now. We'll trim. Now what we're going to do, we're going to come back in with those mini glue dots. I'm going to come right here and here. So I'm going to get 2 on this one. Right there. Rather than use, like I said, rather than use the tear and tape, I think the mini glue dots are going to work so much better. Isn't that how it goes as crafters? We just kind of try things and go, oh, well, this makes so much more sense. It's just funny how I finally start to make sense when I'm live with you guys. Another reason I love to create live, I learn things too. All right, here we go. So we have the present part done, right? That's easy. Now let's tie ourselves a really nice bow. If you guys are not familiar with how to tie bows, I've got several videos out there on my channel that you guys are welcome. Just search bow tying. And I've got all kinds of videos that will help you create really great bows. But there we go. Just 2 bunny ears tied together to create a simple bow. Back in with mini glue dots. Press it, and we'll stick that down right there. Let me add this to my card. Probably should have added the bow after I got adhesive on it, but I'm blaming the die. All right, we will add our Christmas present right here. And we're going to say Merry Christmas on this one. And you know what? Even though I did it in red here, I have already stamped it or inked it in green, garden green. So it's going to be garden green, and that's all good. And it looks like I left the inside of this one blank, but you know what? Let's say God's blessings to you. By the way, that's a great stamp to use all year long. And I'll stamp that right there on the inside. So now we have our 4th card done. You guys did it. I'll tell you what, I'm going to close these up. Let me see what you guys are saying. Sherry says my bows look good thanks to Connie. Oh, you made my day. I'm so glad. Randy, I love watching Connie's videos. She has awesome ideas, great instructions, and loads of laughs. And that is thanks to my missing die. All right. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Sherry says God is good all the time. That's right. You preach it. I agree. All right. I want to share with you the other cards that I created because I mentioned I really like to create cards to give as gifts. So let me bring in a few more here. So these I did with the Tea Boutique Designer Series paper. And here's the thing that I talked about creativity. You just want to see what can you do? What can you do with those pieces? I used the Peaceful Moments stamp set on these. You can see here, I decided to use both sides of the Designer Series paper. Here I used the gingham, and here, of course, I used the floral side. Get creative with that. Little evening evergreen window pane ribbon kind of added a nice touch. Little petal pink and sweet sorbet I just thought it looked great. I don't think I stamped on the insides of these yet. I just kind of left them as great note cards. I did want to point out one thing. Let me bring in my card here. This one I used a square, but my sentiment was a rectangle. I just tweaked it. That's all you need to do is just tweak the 2 little extra pieces that you cut. Very, very simple to do. So you could make a set of these, and then, like I said, the cards that we created last week, you could come in and do it all with the same paper and make a fantastic gift set of cards. So I hope you guys will create that. Remember, there is that free download and your diagram, because I want to make it easy for you. And also, we love the word free, right? We love free. So that is going to be there for you at simplysimplestamping.com. Just look for the November 3rd post. And Brenda has shared the link to that as well. And you can look down in the YouTube description. You'll find a link to my post today. And that's where you'll see a blue button where you can download that diagram. Okay. Want to see what we're going to do next week? We're going to have some fun next week. We are going to, I'm calling it, we're going to stretch some designer series paper. Have you ever had designer series paper and you go, doggone it, I don't have enough of it. I needed a little bit more. Well, you know what? Stretch it. So what I've done here, this is a piece of designer series paper. By the way, you're looking at the back side on this, all right? Back side. But it was a little too square and I needed it oblong. I cut it and then I stamped down the middle. So we're going to have some fun stretching cardstock or stretching designer series paper so that we get a little bit more bang for our buck. We love to save money. So those are the cards that we're going to create next week, November 10th, same bat time, same bat channel. I hope you guys will join me for that because it's going to be fun. I love sharing with you. And in fact, Brenda is going to be here next week. She is coming to visit me in Oklahoma. We've got a Stampin' Up! Conference that weekend, so she's going to be here. So we'll be live together. So Brenda, I think maybe we're going to have to stamp together. I've got 2 sets of cards. You can do one and I'll do the other. How about that? Thank you, everyone, for being here. Hey, I would love a thumbs up on YouTube if you don't think I'm totally out of my mind today. I mean, I am. But for that reason alone, for the sake of my missing die, will you give me a thumbs up on YouTube? Thank you. And do me another favor. I promise I'm not always this crazy. Will you subscribe to my channel? I'd love to have you. We share live every Thursday and some incredible Tuesday tips every Tuesday. And we'd love for you to get notifications from YouTube on that. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. Thanks for all the great comments. I love you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.